I want to just share a couple of personal insights before we go on. As it happens, I've been in Europe with my family for the past couple of weeks, and while I've been following events very closely back here, I've been confronted time and again by similar debates and problems in Europe, and of course the history of these deadly struggles. In Munich, I visited the sites where the Nazis sowed their hatred against the Jews, where the first steps towards the Holocaust were taken. And of course, where 54 years ago, the PLO's terrorist attack at the Olympic Games ushered in the new tangling of the Palestinian cause with Islamist terrorism. The lessons are there to be learned. We also visited Auschwitz and Birkenau, the killing factories of the Holocaust in southern Poland. No matter what you've read and what you've learned, no matter the horrors that I've seen at the sites of terrorist attacks in the past and in Holocaust museums, nothing can prepare you for the sheer scale, the unimaginable planning and deliberate implementation of this industrial-scale extermination of Jews and others. It challenges your concept of humanity. But my takeout is this. It doesn't start with gas chambers. It doesn't start with Islamist terrorism. It starts with hatred running without resistance. It starts with others allowing hatred to fester. It starts with people not standing up to hatred. It starts with political leadership either unwilling to tackle hatred or prepared to try to pretend it away. It's a lesson there for us in ancient history, in the history of the last century, in the history of recent decades, years and weeks. If we are to preserve this wonderful country of diversity, tolerance, peace and opportunity, we need to wake up. Our leadership needs to stand up. The alternative is too terrible to contemplate. In Abu Dhabi, on the way home, we visited the Grand Mosque, a beautiful place of worship. And there in the entrance halls was a display from the Australian government, no less, about Muslims in Australia, tragically trying to educate people about our Muslim population right at a time when the whole world has learned that we have failed to defeat Islamist extremism on our shores, and we are paying a very high price. But I want to give you some optimism to show you some hope. So let me introduce you to a mainstream Australian I met this morning at Bondi Junction. I met a bloke called Stephen Davidson who told me he supports the Jewish people of his area. And have a look at the sign he's painted on his business. Not in response to Bondi, but about 18 months ago when he saw what was unfolding. He wanted to promote that he was supporting the Jewish community, even if our government couldn't see what was going on. He wanted his support to be obvious. And have a look at this. Stephen showed me the Star of David he wears around his neck in solidarity with his fellow Australians who happen to be Jewish. He's not Jewish, but he wears that Star of David around his neck every day. Good versus evil, right versus wrong. Stephen gets it, and he's prepared to show it publicly. What a ripper Australian, or as our Jewish friends would say, he's a mensch. And he shows us there is indeed cause for hope.